guys? Welcome back to another video. It is Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Since I didn't work at the factory on Monday, here I worked at Target. I've been uploading some footage of that on TikTok while overlaying it with my videos of me talking like I am right now. And I think it's a good idea until I figure out what I want to do next. I mean, it could be a little better. It could always be a little better, but it's all part of the progress, really. I think ultimately it would be better if I just actually sat down and talked to the camera one-on-one and just talked about what I had to talk about. But then again, this feels more like natural to me, or like a natural conversation where I'm not just like telling you or briefing you down or whatever, you know, because it's like it doesn't put that immediate pressure on me and on the person watching, I guess, or somebody one-on-one. Not that pressure where I'm immediately just talking to you one-on-one. But I mean, even in conversations that I have with people, I don't always directly look them in the eye unless it's a serious conversation where direct feedback is really important, and making sure the right feedback is important, right? You don't want to relay the wrong message. But anyways, yeah, what a day. Something that I've noticed though about working 7 days a week, because I haven't for like the last 2-3 weeks. I've been working 7 days, is that I no longer feel like I need to wait for the weekend like I used to for the longest time, man. Even in my highs and lows of my success, right? I always aim for the weekend, and it's obvious why you aim for the weekend, because it's the weekend. Like, it's when the camera's kind of tilted. You aim for the weekend because it's easy. You aim for the weekend because, oh, hey, new gas station spot. Come on, boy. You aim for the weekend because it's the one day where you're off, right? You're off, usually for both days. I say one day because for the longest time, for the last couple of years, I've been only off Sundays, if that. But it's when you're off, so it's like when you get to relax. It's when your work's over, really. I guess for most people, not everyone's job is like that. So that's how I felt like it. But since working 7 days a week, it's like my free time is when I'm free. So it's when I should be most efficient. Not necessarily grinding out every single minute that I have that I'm free, just taking every minute that I have for appreciation. Not just, oh, you know, I'll wait it out, or I won't do what I want to do. Yeah, you're tired. I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you want to do because you're tired, or, you know, just because you're not tired and you're free means that you should only be productive. No, I just mean do what you want to do, but understand that that's your free time and use it as you want to. And that also doesn't mean that you do it in the sense that, oh, I'm gonna just be lazy about what I want to do. Not lazy because you want to be lazy. There's a huge difference between both things. Being lazy because you're being lazy is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. But being lazy because you want to be lazy, that's perfectly fine. So it's like if you have goals already for the day, like mentally in your head, you're like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do this. So for me, it's usually I want to do drawing, or I want to edit content, or work on my content, or I want to look for inspiration, or I'm looking for this good purpose. I'm looking online on social media for this certain purpose thing, on Reddit or whatever, for this certain thing. So that's what I'm going to do. And I do one of those things. But then another one I slack on. So when it's, you know, time for bed, I think about my day, I'm like, not even then, just throughout my day, I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't, you know, why did I not do that? I hadn't enough time for that. So, and again, this is me being critical of my time, but by being aware of your time, you know where to draw the line. It's like, okay, normally I only spend 2 hours on this, so I'm only spend 2 hours on this. Again, it's not necessarily that you're 100% putting your most effort into it for 2 hours. It's just that you're doing that task for 2 hours. So whatever you get done in those 2 hours, that's what you get done. But you put 2 hours of your time for that thing, and that's 2 hours ahead. Because regardless of what you do, you're still doing it for 2 hours. So it's like, if you put aside 10,000 hours for this year for whatever you want to do, no matter what, you put aside 10,000 hours, and that means that you are gonna, I would hope by some miracle, you would at least marginally get better at what you want to do or get closer to that goal, as opposed to not measuring it. And guess what? Well, I might have done this here and there, and then you realize if you really crunch it out, it's like, oh well, I only put like 100 hours this year, you know. So, and again, this only comes from a goal that you want to do. It doesn't mean, like I said before, it doesn't mean just because you want to relax, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's because you want to relax, and you should relax. You should take a nap. You should recover. Recovery is as equally as important as working, because if you don't recover properly, you can't work properly. So when I say these things about measuring and being critical about what you're doing and making sure you're measuring it, it's because that's how it should be about what you want to do in terms of ventures or whatever you want to do, right? Read a book, read 10 books, give yourself one book a month, something like that. And if it changes and you don't like it, guess what? There you go. You've realized you don't like doing it, so you changed it. And then you can say, I did it, but I didn't like it. Instead of saying, oh, I did it, but, or oh, I don't know what, you know, maybe I would have liked it. I don't know. I never tried it. It's like, well, there you go. Because at a certain point in time, you might not be able to do those things. I mean, if I'm being pretty stark here, it's like, any time you could die. Any moment you could die. Any moment something that could happen to you that would enable you to do whatever you want to do, perhaps. So, it's like nothing's guaranteed in life. As stiff as you want to play it, anything can go wrong. That's the scary part about being a human, is that we're fragile little things. Anything can happen. Yes, we have modern medicine, but if we're not, you know, available for that modernness, or if we don't get that attention we need from medical professionals, then it's as equally as it was in the 1800s. Besides the medicine or vaccines, but that's besides the point. What my point is just anything can happen anytime, and it's better to actively seek out what you want to do instead of waiting for the right time. That's how I felt. I speak from that on personal experience, because for the longest time I was like, oh, I gotta wait for the right time to do content, the right time to do this. So I was like, oh yeah, I just got, once I find the right thing, I'll probably do it, and I'll probably do it, and then get some success, or like it'll fall in my lap, right? Or I would think, oh, once I'm successful, once I have all these things, I'll be in great shape, I'll do whatever. So I was like, oh, once I'm a software developer and I'm already doing this and I have this much in my bank account, oh, I'll be easy for me to get my, you know, my body in shape, all that. It's like, and what I realized, and it's dumb for me to realize this now in hindsight, but obviously then it was more so realistic, is that all those things aren't going to come to you just like that. Like, you're not going to wake up and then suddenly have these things happen to you. Of course, the byproduct of your success, of your hard work, will get you things that you might be surprised by. But if these things are things that you're actively seeking out, you won't get them just by coincidence. You know, you'll get them unless you're playing the lottery. Then I guess that's just by pure good luck. But anything else, you have to work by it, right? You have to work to be a software developer. You can't get in shape. You can wait if you wanted to. If by luck you're still alive for the next 20 years, which I guess I'm sure there's a percentage of it, but let's just say it's a 70% chance that you'll live for the next 20 years. Then by the chance of 70% for 20 years, then you can wait for that. But again, it comes back to it, why wait for it if you can just do it right now? Now, you may not have time right now, I get that, but you can still do little things to make sure you get there. You might not have enough time to make YouTube like you want to, so you work to make sure you can have free time. Whatever you have to do. Look, I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy, or that these things will just fall in your lap pretty fast. Like, no, I've been working 2 jobs for the last 3 or 4 years now, or 3 years to be exact, I think. So it's like, I get the whole grind. Like, I get how slow it can, I feel how it feels slow, but it'll get there. I mean, I want to do YouTube. I'm doing YouTube right now. This is YouTube. I'm Am I a successful one? No, not really, but I'm doing it. It's a different timeline than the one I'm not doing it, so all this content that I've made would have been not there, and I would have delayed myself even further. So that's something to think about, I guess. But I'll leave you guys off with that. Think about that. Think about your own goals. I'm sure some of you guys are successful than I am. I'm sure whoever this reaches to, I'm sure you're already successful. But this is to those that may not know what they want to do, may not know how to get to what they want to do. So, yeah. But anyway, see you guys.